Okay, this is scrub masks, and this is from my friend Radhika Singh, who I just met over Facebook, who's actually the genius behind the video and the pattern that we've been using here in Boston. So the first thing there's three pieces. There's a top and a side and a pocket for a ponytail, which you can either leave in or leave out. The first thing you want to do is finish the ponytail and so that you can attach it. Okay, so this is a little tricky because it's done on a curve. So you want to find the center of the two pieces that are going, the side and the top. And I usually just stick like a little pin just so you can find the center and line them up. I find starting at the center is easier. This, when I cut it, I cut a little point so I know that that's the center. And I'm going to match them up. You're matching up the curvy side, okay? And you're doing right sides together. And I start in the middle because I find it much easier to start in the middle and then go back around after. You have to do this relatively slowly, and the thing you want to do is put it on a baste first. And you have to keep the fabric flat and even. So you got to go a little bit slowly on the curves, and you got to keep matching up the fabric as you're going and try and keep the fabric as flat as possible. And so you just keep matching it up, going a couple stitches at a time. It gets easier when you're past the front part of the cap. And you keep going around. This is the hardest part. It's just a little tricky. You could pin it. I find that the pins get in my way, so I just go slowly and go around and just match it little by little. And then when you start to get towards the top part, and I'll show you what it looks like on the one side, you'll have a little tab hanging out at the back, which you want to hang out because that's where you're going to attach the ribbon or the bias tape after for the band around the bottom of the scrub cap. So basically, I've done this. I've basted from about the center to the side like that. And this tab will eventually become the tab you attach the bias tape to. So you can do the other side as well. I flip it and again, I start in the center. The center is the hardest part. I find it easiest to do that and go from there. So presumably they should end up about in the same spot, which looks like they pretty much do. So if you look at this is the whole thing around, and they end up about in the same spot. And now what you want to do is take your pocket and you want to add it to this basting scenario. And you kind of want it to overlap a little bit of those your basting threads. I am going to pin this just so I can show you a little bit better what to do here. So essentially this is how I pinned it, and you can see that it's got the in between, and what I'm just going to do is continue my baste from there and just go down and around the pocket. And once you do this, you basically are just going to follow your basting line with a serger or a zigzag. Oh shoot. Looks like my thread just came out, sorry. Trying to do this as quickly as I can. Okay, and since most people don't have a serger, I guess I'm going to zigzag this after. The serger would cut and do everything for you. But I'm just going to, I'll zigzag it so that you guys can see. But essentially this is what it looks like. And then I'm just going to zigzag my basted edges because it looks like it's fine to me. And so I'm going to go around on a zigzag the basted edges that I did. So once you got caught. But once you go all the way around the whole thing, which I'm pretty close, but I'm going to serge this later. I'm just going to show you what you do. You then flip everything back around and you essentially have your cap done. It looks like this, and the only thing you have left to do is to attach your ribbon or your bias tape. And the way that you would do that is you take a 54-inch bias tape. Again, you find the center of it approximately, and I like to attach it this way. Again, I find it easier to do the center. I just took out my pin for the center, but I'm gonna eyeball this. I know kind of where it is. So your bias tape, all you're going to do is attach it so that it covers the seam. Or if you have ribbon, you can do the same thing and just attach it with, you know, a zigzag stitch. You could fold it over if you want to make it look a little pretty. You could use a wide ribbon and fold it over. You could also use fabric that you've pressed and sewn and make your own kind of seam. But essentially, you're just going to attach that to the end of the scrub cap. I think my bobbin. Let's see what's going on here. I'm sorry, but and you'll end up with a finished product of a scrub cap. It doesn't really take that long. The trickiest part is matching up the seams, and like I said, I find it easiest if you start in the center. I'm going to see if I can get this going, otherwise I'll just show you a picture of the final product. My machine's not going to cooperate with attaching this real quick. My bobbin is running out. All right, here we go. I'm just going to keep following. You just tuck it in there. You tuck this seam in, keep following the line, it should be pretty easy. It should be relatively straight. Until you get to your little tab at the end, and then you just continue down, and that makes the end of the tie. So that's this side that's attached. And now I'm just going to attach the other side real quick. And again, I like to do it by starting in the middle with the curves. I just find it much easier to do it that way. Alright, so at the end of the bias tape, and so there you have your scrub mask with the ponytail holder, and you have the tie in the back. So you just go like that, and it works. Put it on, I guess, and show you. I don't have a ponytail in, but I certainly could tie it. So you can do this with or without the ponytail holder. Anyway, that's it. Thanks. Bye.